Welcome to Daniel Reviews. I'm Daniel Goodwin, and today we're talking about industry buzz around the new Ecoflow Delta Pro Ultra. Let's get into it. Most of this is going to be on the screen, so I do apologize. The audio quality won't be quite as good, the video quality won't be quite as good, but I want to focus more on the subject matter than myself, which is probably always a good thing to do. So bear with me, but we'll go through the details and I'll give you my thoughts on what we're seeing so far.
So in this article on Gear Diary, which I'm sure is a perfectly fine site, but it's not exactly like CNET or tech reviews or whatever mainstream. But on this site, Travis mentions that Ecoflow is going to be releasing a Delta Pro Ultra. And if you read through the article, there's not a lot of details. There is this very interesting picture, which is definitely going to captivate almost everybody's attention. And you're going to look at a couple things. You're seeing the Delta Pro Ultra, allegedly, as well as the Smart Home Panel 2 that's pictured here. And then you can read through it. There's just, again, not a lot of details. Doesn't tell you anything about capacity or PV input or output, etc. It's really just a teaser, and it's hard to say whether this is in any way legit. A few things I would note: if this is legit, and this is what the product looks like, which this is clearly a 3D rendering. This is not you can just tell this is not the actual product. So that makes me a little dubious of this. It's not like a picture of the product, so it's a little hard to necessarily believe that. There's all kinds of 3D renders around the world that shows everything, and it may or may not be true. But if it is, there's some significant things here that you can see in the picture that, well, I don't want to say worry me, but are interesting. So this looks to be a completely different connector than the current Ecoflow Infinity cable. Either that or they've done some sort of 90-degree angle on it, which would be very, very beneficial and helpful if that was true. But it just concerns me. Also, I'm not sure if this means you can connect a third bank into the smart home panel. If so, that's interesting. Maybe for tri-phase electricity. And additionally, this looks much bigger as a smart home panel, so perhaps more relays, and obviously that would open up more opportunities for your house. These form factors quite a bit different from the current Delta Pro, presumably a lot larger as well. If each of these are 5 kilowatts, that would put combined 30 kilowatts plus some sort of like main unit here sitting on the top. That may or may not also include a battery, but it looks like it has different outputs and whatnot. It looks like the cables snake around at least to the side. If you see this in the picture here, that seems to be where they flow to instead of the back, which is interesting, I guess. As far as the connectors between the batteries, you can see like this looks to be a connector from there to there and there to there, kind of like a staggered, and then up to the main unit. So that's interesting. Doesn't give you, I mean, you're going to have to stack them with the size of these cables. That's just the only way you're going to do it, which is fine. That's what I would want to do. These look massive and don't seem to have any wheels, so this is definitely more of a fixed installation, which is also probably fine. And then it looks like there's maybe a little bit of a display here on the slanted top that might give you more of statistics of battery capacity and so forth. And that's really all you get out of this. So I'm a little skeptical. It could absolutely look 100% like this picture. It could also not look like this picture. Again, it's a render. It's not an actual photograph. And until we have specs, cost, capacity, input, output, it's really tough to say. The only thing I can say with certainty is, yes, there is another Delta Pro coming. It has to be. I've done a video on some of the things I'd like to see in it, and what I'm seeing in this picture does not leave me overly hopeful, in that it does not look like it would be perhaps compatible with the existing extra batteries for the Delta Pro. or even the existing Delta Pro unit with a Smart Home 2 panel. So that's lots to be determined, but that's a little, a little disappointing, perhaps.
Okay, that should wrap up this video. Obviously, there's not a lot of officially confirmed details there, and it's difficult to know how much of what we're seeing is the final product, if it looks anything like what we're seeing. I suspect it probably does look a lot like what we're seeing here, just based on different things I've heard from other people who are in the know, some things that I've taken part in that I can't share. But it does lead me to believe that whatever the next iteration of the Delta Pro looks like, it might look more like what we're seeing in this picture than what we've seen with the original Delta Pro unit. All right, I hope you at least enjoyed this video. May not have been super informative, but I think it was interesting to cover. And until the next video, take care of yourself.